If you've been dumped and want to try to get your ex back, you will likely wonder what will happen if you text your ex. It's one of the most common thoughts that a dumpee will have. I'm Vincent Boss and I've been a relationship coach for many years, but not even I can jump into your dumper's mind and definitively say what they would think if you made contact. What I can do though is the next best thing and tell you what other dumpers have told me how they felt when their ex texted them. Today's podcast is part 3 of a mini-series where I discuss the thoughts of a different dumper who were contacted by their ex. If you want to hear the thoughts of dumper number 1 and 2, then please listen to those podcasts after this is finished to give you a better range of options to how your ex may feel if you text them. Today we're going to be talking about dumper number 3, and I'm of course going to protect their identity during this podcast. Before we get started, I have one request. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It really helps me out, and only 20% of my audience are subscribed. If you believe that my content helps you, then it will likely help others too, and to help my channel become more visible, it would really help if you could subscribe. So let's get straight into this. And today we are speaking about dumper number 3. And dumper number 3 was in a relationship for many years with their ex. So this wasn't a short or even medium-term relationship. Ultimately, they decided to end the relationship because they felt that their partner was no longer putting in any effort within the relationship. And I would say that complacency, laziness, however you want to describe this, is a huge factor and reason as for why many relationships break down. We have to understand that when two people are together in a loving relationship, they are both feeling a high level of romantic emotional attraction for one another. But for various potential reasons, this attraction drops for one or both people, and eventually a breakup takes place. Now, when we think of one of the main reasons why romantic emotional attraction may drop, complacency is high on the agenda. And it's really, really challenging to keep on top of things. Just because I'm here as your coach saying this to you, it doesn't mean that I find it easy or that anybody else on the planet finds it easy as well. A relationship takes work, and remaining focused and in dating mode takes work and effort. It's not easy to always be at the top of your game, but if you just keep reminding yourself of the importance of doing so, you will stand a much better chance of not slipping into complacency. Because as dumper number 3 found out, when complacency is shown from a partner, they start to lose romantic emotional attraction. So I always suggest trying to remain in dating mode, treating your partner the same after 6 years, after you did after 6 months, as you did after 6 weeks. If you keep that mentality, then you are much more likely to make sure that you keep on top of things, you remain in dating mode, and you keep that spark alive. But as I was saying, dumper number 3, unfortunately for their partner, they did slip into complacency. They were no longer putting in the effort that a relationship needs. And dumper number 3 lost romantic emotional attraction for their partner. They decided to action the breakup. Now, because the relationship was so long, the dumper in this instance always felt that they would hear from their ex again. But this didn't mean that they wanted to. When the inevitable happened only a week after the breakup, the dumper was very angry. So 1 week after the breakup was finalised, the dumpee in this instance reached out. Now, you might be thinking, well, if you've been in such a long relationship, why on earth wouldn't you try and save the connection? Now, I'm not here to say that during the breakup you can't say your piece. Of course, it's completely understandable that if you've been told that the relationship is over, you're going to try to fight your corner. That is obvious, that is understandable, that is to be expected. However, what we're talking about here is when the dust has settled. So the dust had settled for more than a week, or a week in this instance from what I was told. So as we look at this, the breakup took place, I don't know, I wasn't actually told whether it was something which was somewhat long-winded over a few days, umming and ahhing, or whether this was something where it was just one conversation and then the door was closed. I don't know exactly how it went down, but what I can say is that within this instance, what you would have seen was the Dumpee would have said their piece, and the dumper, in this instance, did decide to maintain and keep their decision. You know, the Dumpee would have said their thing. Like I said, I don't know whether this was something which was drawn out or whether it was just over one evening, for instance. But whatever the situation it was, the dumper didn't change their mind. And if you were in this position, if you're going for a breakup, like I said, you can fight your corner. But when the decision is made, when the dumper in this instance says, look, you know, it doesn't really matter what you say, I'm just not feeling it, I want to go on my own path, whatever they want to say, if they want to end this relationship once you've said your piece, you've got to respect the decision. So the dust had settled for a week. I was told that they felt the dumper, that it was inevitable they would hear from their Dumpee again, and sure enough, they did. But when they did, a week later, the dumper was very angry. Now, they made this very clear to me. They didn't just say I was angry, they said I was very angry. And they told me that they felt furious that their ex never respected the relationship and then wouldn't respect the ending of it. And this links into what I was saying a little earlier. You know, remaining in dating mode, not falling into complacency, because if you do slip into complacency, it could be seen as you not respecting the relationship. And that was very frustrating for this person who eventually became the dumper. But then, when the Dumpee is still not listening, but instead they're not listening because they won't leave their ex alone, this shows disrespect again. So the dumper, in essence, was feeling disrespect about how they were treated within the relationship, and disrespect once they said they wanted to end it. They felt their ex, the Dumpee, did not listen to them. Now, if you've been dumped and you want to try to get your ex back, you don't have to feel that you've got to keep knocking on the door, because if you don't, they're going to forget you. Your ex, the dumper, is not going to forget you. And if anything, if this story can teach us anything at all, it shows that you don't want to be risking annoying and frustrating your ex, because that is going to make matters worse. You need to respect their decision. Now, if you want help moving through the choppy waters of a breakup, then you may want to consider my audio coaching service, where me and you can speak one-on-one. Okay, if you want to talk to me about your unique situation, which is probably somewhat different to the generic examples I have to give in most of my podcasts, you're going to have your own unique perspective. If you want to speak one-on-one about this, then consider my audio coaching service. More details can be found on my website, www.dateme.tips. I don't just become your coach, I become your teammate, and we will take this journey together. Now, back to dumper number 3 and how they felt after their ex reached out, the frustration, the anger, and ultimately the feelings that they had not just during the relationship, but also the aftermath, is what caused the unfortunate situation for the Dumpee, that they were blocked. So dumper number 3 in this instance blocked their ex. Now, if you've been blocked, you're probably thinking, well, where do I go from here? And what I can say is, but I'm not trying to give you false hope, but there is always the opportunity for your ex, the dumper, to unblock you. I've heard this many times. Now, as far as I know, dumper number 3 has not, as of yet, unblocked their ex. I don't know if they ever will. But what I can say is that I have known of many dumpers who have decided to unblock their ex and eventually reach out. So dumpees, being blocked is not ideal, it's not a great place, and there's no guarantee you will be unblocked. But what I can say is, if you live your life in a positive way, if you do enough of the right things moving forward from there, there is still the chance that you could grow romantic emotional attraction. There is still the chance you may be unblocked, and there is still the chance your ex, the dumper, may reach out to you. It doesn't always happen, and dumper number 3 hasn't, as of yet, as far as I know, unblocked their ex. Dumper number 3 contacted me because they wanted support moving forward with their life, not concentrating on trying to get an ex back. Could this change? Yes, it could. I've heard it many, many times. But does it definitely always change? No, it doesn't. Okay, and even though I spoke to this dumper as I do with everybody and just tried to bring up all possibilities and say, hey, could this relationship be something worth reconsidering? At this time, they aren't willing to do that. And I'm going to support them on their path moving forward on the journey that they want. Okay, because audio coaching that I provide isn't just about trying to get your ex back. It could be trying to find a new girlfriend or boyfriend. It could be general life coaching support. Whatever your situation, you may get the benefit of talk therapy. And dumper number 3 felt that reaching out to me could be something that could help them move forward. But like I just said, I did shine a light on the possibility of them reconnecting with their ex. But right now, that is not something that they want to consider. If you've been blocked, it's not great. If you've been blocked, it doesn't mean you're definitely going to get your ex back, but it also doesn't mean that it's impossible. I have seen it happen, so although I'm not trying to give you false hope, don't completely lose faith in that possibility. However, if you have been blocked, it's certainly time to concentrate on your journey, living your life in a new way, a different direction, and making new connections. You can't sit around at home just thinking, well, my ex will probably unblock me one day and reach out. That's not definitely going to happen. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. So what can we learn from dumper number 3? Well, like I said, it shows that if you don't respect the decision of somebody who ends a relationship, you run the risk of being blocked. You're frustrating them. And if you are somebody who's been dumped, you've got to understand that they are feeling a very low level of romantic emotional attraction for you since the breakup took place. Well, obviously, the lead up to the breakup, that is why they made that choice. And what is the worst thing you could do to somebody who is also not feeling that great about you? It's annoying them. So don't annoy somebody who is already not thinking the best of you. That's not going to get your ex back. Think about it logically. If you want to get your ex back, is annoying them going to improve or decrease your chances? It's going to decrease it. So don't annoy them. Listen to what they are saying. Respect their decision. You don't have to be in contact with your ex to reattract them. My version of a no contact rule can help grow romantic emotional attraction in the dumper's mind without you contacting them at all. If you want to learn more about that, check out my YouTube playlist entitled The No Contact Rule. Listen to the playlist all of the way through so you can fully immerse yourself in my version of the rule. Stay positive and always remember that with or without your ex, you will have a positive future if you live your life in the right way. If you believe that this podcast has helped you, then please consider buying me a coffee. The link to do so is in the description.